Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, to a brand new video. I am here to explain myself, I suppose. What the bloody hell is going on? Listen, we're just as shocked as you are. So I'm here today to share the news and the story, and I can't believe I am saying this out loud, but we're having a baby.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
What is going on? I hear you ask. So make sure you're all comfy and you've got your favourite drink. I'm on pumpkin spice ice latte. I'll explain more about my choices in the coming vlogs. Oh, but I can't get enough of the ice. That's what that's all about. And so yeah, fasten your seatbelts because this is going to be a bit of a story time. So as my regular subscribers are going to know this, but having a baby was not in our plans at all, ever again. Literally wasn't even a thought. So let me go back and give you a little bit of a backstory. I'll try not to make it too long-winded, but you know what I'm like. And and I'll bring you up to date, and hopefully the whole scenario might make a bit more sense. I mean, it doesn't make any sense, to be honest with you. Like I said, I'm still in shock. It doesn't make any sense to me, but it's God's plan, apparently. Who are we to question it? So yeah, me and my husband have been together for 16 years in total. And I have a daughter from a previous relationship, and she was like 3-4 years old when me and Ash got together 16 years ago. Ash was only 19 when I met him, and I was only 23. We were babies, basically, compared to now. And we were both in the early days, in those days, open to the thought of maybe having children together at some point in our relationship in the future, if we were blessed with that. In fact, it was my husband that was very much more open to the idea than I was. I was a little bit skeptical because of my experience from the first time round. It wasn't a great experience for me, but circumstances, and unfortunately that shapes you as a person, doesn't it? Your own experiences. So anyway, I was still open to it if Ash wanted to, and he very much wanted to. And so yeah, we never prevented a pregnancy. So I never took any contraception. We never used any contraception during sex. And we obviously have a very healthy sex life, even now up to this day. And I'm saying that because I just need you to know that there's been plenty of opportunity to get pregnant over those years, and it never ever happened. So yeah, the years are going by slowly, and life, just gets in the way, I suppose. We're already raising a little daughter together. So we didn't feel like anything was missing specifically. And the conversation comes up again a few years into our relationship. And obviously we address the fact that it's not happening for us. How strange that it's not happening for us. It did come up. Is it me that can't get pregnant? But we know that I've had a daughter from previously, so I could before. So maybe it's not me. Maybe it's Ash. And that come up briefly, but we weren't into investigating it, to be honest with you, because we've just both decided to leave it to God. So we came to the conclusion and said that if it's meant to be, and we're very much like this, me and Ash, we're like this to this day, if it's meant to be, it will be, and that is that. What will be, and we won't mess about with fate. And back then it did worry me because I just thought, Ash is young, I'm young as well, but I'm quite happy at the moment not to have any more. Like, if it's not happening, it's not a bother to me. But I had to make sure my husband, well, he was just my boyfriend at the time, we wasn't married at this point, you know, I needed to make sure that he was on the same page. It's really important to sit down and make sure you both are on the same page, you know, moving forward. Because the last thing you want is to end up in a relationship or married or whatever and, you know, committed and then having kids and where I'm having a child to please him and then I resent him because this is not what I wanted my life to be, and then, or he's just going along with not having kids for me and then he's missing out on his life. Like, that really bothers me. Like, I would rather break my own heart and have him be happy in life. And that's just the way I am. Like, that's just the way I am. So I did like address it. I'm very direct and I'm like forward, I suppose, but I'm forward for a reason because it really matters. And I was like, is this going to be a deciding factor for you in your life, whether we have kids or not? Because obviously it's not happening. And to be honest with you, Ash, I'm quite happy not to have any more at the moment, at this point anyway. And I'm not sure that I will in the future either. You know, I'm not willing to go and investigate why we're not getting pregnant because I want that for us, because I'm quite happy to be in a relationship and a marriage with you without any more children. And basically he felt exactly the same as me. Like, we've grown up together, me and my husband, but instead of growing apart and different views, because we were so young when we got together, we've grown together with the same views. That's why it's so beautiful. That being said, we decided to carry on having unprotected sex because, like I said, we are both the same, like, as opposed to fate. Like, if it's meant to be, then that's what will happen to us together, and we trust that. So even though I was happy not to, I would have been happy if I did at this point. I think, like, I wouldn't have minded. Like, or else obviously I would have prevented a pregnancy, absolutely, because, like, that's just stupidity, isn't it, if you don't want children and then you're leaving yourself wide open to it still. Anyway, so the years went by and I got to my late 30s. We're married at this point. Joelle's growing up and she's like leaving high school and becoming her own person, and the mummy side of things cooled down a lot because she didn't need me as much. And I just really started to enjoy my life with Ash together. And obviously we bought our first house and started renovating it. So our minds just wasn't on family life or growing a family or anything like that. We was just thinking, we're just going to enjoy this life together. We're so happy, just me and him together. And like, we'll concentrate on the home because we both love being at home, and we'll keep busy renovating and we'll go traveling, and, you know, and that's what, like, I was quite happy to do that, and so was my husband. Aside from that, I was very aware that in your late 30s, as a woman, your eggs start to depreciate like rapidly in your late 30s. I think from about the age of 35, I can't remember the statistics, but you'll have to have a Google if you're interested, or you probably know this information already, but I was aware of it. Your eggs really like depreciate from the age of 35 onwards, and I think that's why most women start panicking at the age of mid-30s. Like, am I gonna need to freeze my eggs and have children? Because, like, they start panicking, don't they? I need to do this now, blah blah blah. I wasn't bothered about it, but I knew my eggs were going to depreciate, and I think the quality of eggs depreciate as well. Yeah, I thought, well, you know, it's very unlikely it's going to happen now. So if it hadn't happened in my younger, more fertile years, then it's definitely not going to happen now, right? Still left it open to God. But as you can imagine, with all that on my mind and being aware of all that information, the thought of actually getting pregnant just faded away by this point in life for me. So it never even came up in my mind. Like, I never even thought, like, what if you get pregnant? Oh my God. Like, it just didn't enter my brain because it just wasn't happening for me, and I was quite happy for it if it didn't. So that's kind of the backstory from me and Ash, and all the way throughout my fertile years, I suppose. from when I was a young spring chicken up until now. So I'm 39 years old, right? I'm ready to turn 40 in January. My mind is there. I'm thinking, right, I'm 40 in January, a bit like, you know, feeling a bit some kind of way about that. I think we all are. I'm dying to reach out to some of my classmates. In fact, one of my old classmates, my old best friend, has actually reached out to me and said, like, how do you feel like turning 40? Are you doing anything big for your 40th? How do you feel about turning 40? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what I feel like. But I just found out I was pregnant when she texted me this, and I never told her because obviously I just found out, and it's very early on at this point. And yeah, when she said like she's going on holiday, she's going to have this big holiday, I didn't know what to say because I don't know what I'm going to do now. Like, I was ready for this big 40, I don't know, celebration, probably going on holiday myself, like a big holiday as well. So bummer, I'll be heavily pregnant when I turn 40, and I couldn't tell her that. But anyway, she's gonna know now. Off-roading again, sorry. But not only am I ready to turn 40 and just have the second part of my life, really, additionally to that, if you've been following along on the vlogs, I have been struggling the last few months before I took a break, and with some symptoms, and I was at the doctor's investigating these symptoms, and we was eliminating, like a process of elimination kind of a thing, what's wrong with me. I needed to figure out what was wrong with me. And basically I went to the doctors with all the things that were wrong with me, my symptoms, basically a list of symptoms. Now, she suspected ovarian cysts. I suspected, and I have done for years, endometriosis. I'm sorry if I'm like reiterating this if you already know, but for everybody who's new here, this is the story. So yeah, I've been convinced for years I've got endometriosis, and I kept getting turned away at the doctors after a blood test. The blood test had come back fine, and they'd send me away and blah, blah, blah. But I have such a bad time on my period. Like, I'm convinced, or I was convinced, it was endometriosis. Anyway, the doctor suspected ovarian cysts, and basically we started a process of elimination. She said, I'll do your full MOT, like kind of a thing, now you're at this age, and we'll figure out what's like going on with you. So they did thyroid, they checked thyroid, they checked my blood for all sorts of deficiencies, and they checked for everything. Okay, so the bloods came back fine, nothing wrong with any of them things. She suspected ovarian cyst, I suspect endometriosis. So she sent for a pelvic scan of my, you know, reproductive system, I suppose, to check if there's anything in there that shouldn't be there, cysts, etc. And I was waiting on that for the end of June. The appointment came through for the end of June. Beginning of June, my bloods had come back fine, nothing untoward, and then the appointment for the pelvic scan came through for the end of June. So within that month, that's where we're concentrating on now, June 2024 this year. And yeah, whilst I'm still having a few feeling weird, I started thinking about, well, if this scan comes back normal, we'll obviously eliminate anything that's going on in my tummy area. What is wrong with me after that? So I started looking into it, and I was actually researching about perimenopause, which is, I think, a period of time. I don't know fully, you know, about it because I was only researching it for a very short time before any of this happened. But perimenopause, it's like a period of time, can be up to 10 years before your actual menopause starts. And do you know what? I've actually got a few friends that I know of, acquaintances, who started menopause early. In fact, one of the girls I know, she's younger than me, and she's actually started in the menopause. Like, wow. So I know it's not uncommon to start them kind of symptoms and start feeling bloody all over the place. And I thought, you know, maybe we need to get ready for this stage of life. So I was ready for it. You can't help aging, you know, up and down. It's a blessing, isn't it, if you get to age, and we'll get through it and blah, blah, blah. So that's where my mind was at. Oh, it's so good. Honestly, you guys, I cannot get enough icy drinks. So as you can imagine, my mind and Ash's mind is absolutely not prepared for what happens next. So that brings us to just a regular Monday morning on Monday, the 17th of June, 2024. Guys, I was walking around Home Bargains and I don't know, I just felt really bloody sick. I just feel really freaking sick, and a little thought entered my head, a stupid bloody thought entered my head, like the sickness. I remember it when I was pregnant with Joelle. I'm probably barking up the wrong tree completely, but I was in Home Bargains and I thought I'll just get a pregnancy test because process of elimination and all of that. Like, I just feel bloody awful. Like I would never be filming this usually. But you never know. And just in case, I had to set my camera up because I am a vlogger and that's what we do. I've just been chopping peppers and onions downstairs because Ash wanted a chili con carne and I feel so sick. So I've just come up. I'm going to do it now because get out of the way. I need something to pee in. Like, what can we pee in? We need a jar or something. So we've got a urine sample. Absolutely disgusting. Probably need to drink some more water. And it's the middle of the day, so I think you're meant to do this like in the meant to do them like in the morning, aren't you? First thing in the morning. Well, you used to have to anyway, like back in the day. You will hear the beep sound and the hourglass symbol will begin to flash. Okay, right. Okay, here goes nothing. Is that right? How long do you hold it in for? Oh, it'll tell us. Oh, that was quick. So we'll clean up while that's doing its thing. I just feel so sick and there's just so much going on with my body at the moment. Like, I've got a pelvic scan booked for the end of this month. And like, I've just been waiting for that really because the blood tests all come back fine, didn't they? So yeah, I can't be pregnant, can I? Because the blood test would have come back pregnant. They would find a pregnancy on a blood test, wouldn't they? I'm way too old. Can you imagine if it were positive? Let me have a look. Oh, it's taking a while. I mean, I know I'm not. I am just doing process of elimination. Because, like, what's wrong with me? Like, what the bloody hell is wrong with me at the moment? Like, I'm just all over the place. And do you know what I'm thinking? I know you shouldn't diagnose yourself or anything like that, but I am thinking, like, perimenopause. I think it's a thing. It's like 10 years. It can start 10 years before your actual menopause or something like that. And I will research more about it if, you know, we're starting to point in that direction. But yeah, it was important for me to do like all the blood tests and everything else first and just like process of elimination basically. But I just don't know why I feel so sick. And then the reason why I went to the doctors in the first place was like dizziness and headaches, like really bad headaches. And yeah, so it's taking a while, isn't it? But my God, I don't feel like myself. I just feel rough. Like I said, I've been having headaches, dizziness, sickness now apparently. I was downstairs and I just couldn't stomach chopping up them peppers. Oh, guys, I feel rough. Oh. Shut the front door. Shut up. Shut up. I can't be. I can't be. Oh, I can't be. it. Can you get a false? Can you get a false? You're so wrong. I am shaking. That can't be right. Can you get a false? Can you get a false test? You must be able to. It can't be happening. What? That's not true, is it? Oh my God, I'm gonna have to go to Boots. I'm gonna have to go to Boots and get another one. I'm gonna have to go to Boots. So, I didn't film the next bit, as you can imagine. I literally floated down to Boots in my car. I don't know how I drove there. I floated in the car down to Boots to get a second pregnancy test. I was just sobbing and in complete shock. I don't know how I felt. And when I see this footage back of me seeing that test, I'm not sure if that's a negative reaction or a positive reaction. All I know is it wasn't even in my mind's eye, you know, because now you know the history. I was just so focused on being in perimenopause and coming up to 40. It wasn't a thing. So it absolutely floored me. It floored me. So I got home with the test, went to the toilet straight away, needed another wee, luckily. Had a wee, a little one, downstairs this time. This was a clear blue, but it was just the lines one. I don't know what I were buying in the shop. Like I said, my mind was gone. Excuse me. And I dipped it in and the line just appeared straight away, like so strong, like there was no denying it. And again, the same reaction really, like this can't be true. I just could not believe my eyeballs. To make it worse, I could not sit and even process this information at this point because I had to literally go and pick my daughter up from the train station I had to set off literally to go and pick Joelle up from the train station because it was Monday the 17th of June. The day before on Sunday the 16th, it was Father's Day and the trains got cancelled on Joelle and she couldn't get home in time for Father's Day. So she was coming that day on the Monday, the next day, to come and give her father, Ash, you know, his Father's Day present and spend some time with us. So I had to go and get her from the train station and I could not, and I just did not have time to process this information, but my mind was gone. Like, I don't even know who I am at this point. I'd been sobbing all the way down to Boots, so I looked an absolute state. And I thought, if I get in that car and go and get Joelle, she's going to know there's something wrong because she's my daughter. She'll know if there's something wrong. So I floated all the way down to the train station. I had no idea what I was about to tell her. I don't know my mind. I don't know what my mind is thinking all the way down again. It's like I'm in this dream. I've just floated down to get her. She gets in the car and she's like, Mum, I knew that this would happen. She's like, Mum, are you all right? Is there something wrong? And she was like, are you just due on your period? And I'm like, yeah, I think so. I was acting strange. I act strange. I was just acting so strange because obviously. So I'm in the car with her all the way home and she can tell I'm acting strange. I can tell that she can tell I'm acting strange. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm going to have to tell this girl when I get home because there is no way on this planet I can get through the day like this in this situation. I'm going to have to tell her what's going on and share it because I couldn't compute. So I got home and she's making a coffee and I said, Joelle, I need to tell you something. And she looked and I said, she said, I can tell there's something wrong. What is it? What? I said, well, you know, and I just explained that I was in B&M Home Bargains, that morning and I just felt really sick. And obviously at that point when I said that, she knew what was coming, I think. And I said, so I don't know what it was, but something told me to pick up a pregnancy test when I was there. So I went and got a pregnancy test. I've come home and done this pregnancy test this afternoon, and it's only come up positive. And I was only trying to eliminate that, you know what I mean? Like, I never even thought it would be that. And so, and I said, this has all happened just before I've come to pick you up. That's why I'm acting strange. And she just started crying, and she gave me this like big hug, and she was like literally sobbing. And I was just still in shock telling her, because I'm waiting now for her reaction, because I was so young when I had Joelle, and I don't come from a really good family, and it was just me and her, you know, and I was so young. And like I said, I had her, and I clung to her, and she was all I had, and I was all she had. So we was like really bonded, me and Joelle. And I didn't let nobody come between that. And yeah, I just didn't want her to react badly. I just didn't want her to think that I was like replacing her or anything. Like, I don't know, like, because Joelle was quite happy to be an only child, is what I mean by that. Growing up, she always said, like, she was very close to her mummy, like, I was everything to her, like, I don't want another brother or sister, mummy, I don't want brothers and sisters. And I'd be like, I know. I mean, if it happened, she would have had to deal with it, wouldn't she, you know, like every other sibling does. But she was very much of that mindset when she was young. She was quite happy to be an only child. She just wanted me all to herself. Like I said, we were just tight, thick as thieves. Bear in mind, she's about to turn 20 at this point in the summer. And yeah, and so she starts sobbing, and I'm thinking, oh my God, is this a bad reaction from her? I don't know why, obviously I was anticipating a bad reaction, but she was just said, I'm really happy for you, mummy. And I was like, oh my God. So like, we had a moment, and we had a few hours together this day, and you know, just, I don't know what we were talking about, to be honest with you. It's all one big blur. We'd cried together and had that moment. I was so happy that I shared it with her first. So it's getting on in late in the afternoon. Ash is literally due home from his day job, like he normally is. And our conversation, mine and Joelle's conversation, turns to, how are we going to tell you, Dad? Oh my God, he is going to, I don't even know what he's gonna fall through the floor like I did. He is going to die on the spot when we tell him this news. How are we going to tell him this news? Do we tell him today? I can't tell him today. I'm not ready for it. Like, I need to process, I said to Joelle. I need to process this information. I need to let it sink in. I need to confirm the doctors. I was convinced, you see, that these two tests, I was convinced they were wrong, you know. I was literally Googling, can you get a false positive test? And it said, like, no, you can't really. You can't really. But because I'd just done blood work at the doctors with all these investigations and they come back right, what my thing was, I said, how can I be? They would have flagged it up on these blood tests, wouldn't they? So I thought, am I late on my period? Because I don't track my periods because I've never needed to. Obviously, with the history of my fertility, so to speak, I've never needed to. I've always been on the dot every month, and it always comes every month. And if it didn't, then I'd be pregnant along the way. And I just didn't feel the need to. So obviously, after all them years of tracking periods, like, you just forget about it, don't you? Because you think it's not going to happen now. Like, that's where I was thinking, there's no way I'm going to get pregnant in my older age now, so I don't need to track it. Like, so yeah, I never tracked it anymore, and it comes and that's that. So I thought to myself, so when was my last period, right? So I rang the doctors, because when I went to the doctors initially with the symptoms, I was telling her all about my symptoms, and I was telling her about the bloat I get on my period. And I remember in the doctors standing up and showing her the bloat situation. My tummy, I call it endo tummy, but obviously I'm diagnosing myself there, but I was convinced it was endometriosis, and you get an endo belly, don't you, on your period? Like, literally, I'd look pregnant when I were on my period anyway. So I stood up in the doctors and I said, this is me on day 3 of my period, and I remember saying it to her. This is my bloat. This is how pregnant I look on day 3 of my period, and it's worse than that when it first starts. So I thought, if I ring the doctors and ask when did I come to the doctors, and then work out 3 days before, that's when I started my last period. And then I'll be able to tell if I'm late. So I rang the doctors, I explained to her on the phone, like, I came to the, anyway, she gave me the date that I came to the doctors, and I worked out the date that I started my period, and I was a week late on my period at this point, and I'd not noticed. Also, whilst I was on the phone, I asked her, I said, from your notes, can you tell? I said, I did some blood tests recently. They've all come back fine, but I just need to pick your brains. I said, would a pregnancy have shown up on them through them blood tests? And she said, no, not necessarily, unless we were looking for it. And we worked it out where the blood tests were done probably just before I conceived, so it wouldn't have come back anyway. And yeah, so at this point we've got 2 very positive pregnancy tests. We now know I'm absolutely a week late on my period, and that has never happened in my life. So everything's pointing to the obvious. Like, there's no other way I can grasp getting out of it, you know, like in my mind. And so, yeah, we do all this. We have all these conversations. Ash is literally due home in like 20 minutes at this point. And I said, I don't know, what are we going to do? What are we going to do about Ash? I said, I'm gonna be acting strange when he comes in. Like, I feel funny. I feel weird. He's going to know something's wrong. And Joelle said, well, Mum, I've come for Father's Day. I've got my little Father's Day gift here. She said, why don't you wrap up the tests, put them in the Father's Day bag, and when he opens the gifts, he can open it on Father's Day. And I was like, what? And I'm going to try not to cry in that moment, but how perfect was that? It was almost like Joelle's train got cancelled the day before. Like, for a reason, you know? And this was meant to be like this. So, sorry, I need to compose myself. Sorry about that, everybody. It's just very emotional, isn't it? Like, it's so emotional. Anyway, it's going to get more emotional because I did film Ash's reaction, and I'm going to pop it in a second, but let me give you some context. So I thought, right, that's perfect. So we wrapped up the test, like Joelle said, put them in her gift bag. We're both acting really strange at this point. We know he's about to walk through the door. We're literally pacing the house, right? I said to Joelle, well, I'm always filming for YouTube anyway, and I have to collect his reaction on camera. I have to have it. Even if I don't post it on the internet, I want it for the family. You just can't beat like raw family moments like that. Like, this is never going to happen to us again. Like, I want this footage. I says, I'm always filming for YouTube anyway, so he's not going to think, why is there a camera set up? It's not weird because I'm a vlogger. So I set up the camera, and I made it look like it was set up for him to open his gifts on Father's Day, which that's what he was going to do. So he comes in the door, but Ash being Ash, he's such a shy guy, so he comes in the door. We're both acting really strange, and he's like, you can tell he's like looking at us thinking like, what's wrong with them two? And so I just keep giggling. You'll see in the footage, I can't stop giggling because I'm nervous. It's a nervous laugh. I do it all the time. Excuse me. Anyway, the camera's set up, and because he's such a shy guy, he always tries to stay out of the frame, out of the shot. So we tried to take the bag and take it out of the shot, and I had to convince him for 5 minutes. That's why it's a bit choppy, this footage. Because this was going on for quite some time, and he's taking the bag away from the camera, and I'm going, come and open it here, like on camera. And he's going, no, I don't want to open it on camera. And I'm going, trust me, you want to open this on camera. Like, I couldn't stress it enough. So he's being really awkward at first because he really doesn't want to open this on camera because he has no idea what is about to go down, obviously. Like, he has no idea what's coming, has he? And yeah, so I'm going to cut now to the footage telling my husband we're pregnant.
When did you get here? When did you get here?
What time did I get here? Quite late this afternoon, wasn't it?
I did, yeah.
About 2:30?
Yeah. 3 point.
I don't want to open it.
You did, I promise you! Is that kind of?
Yeah.
Why?
Pull it open.
I don't know.
I'll get you some skincare. open that one.
Oh, I like this stuff.
Yeah, I like it too. Makes you feel fresh in the
Thank you very
morning.
much, Joel.
It's a face wash.
Oh,
It's good
it's
stuff
good.
though.
What in here?
What? What?
You're being jokers again.
No. No.
Give over. Give over. Oh, we'll go on then. There's no way, I can't believe that. I feel a bit sick now.
Yeah, we were like all day. Congrats on Happy Father's Day.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's totally unexpected. Where's my card?
No, tell Suzanne. Where's my card?
So you took two to confirm.
Yeah.
Oh, bloody hell. Oh.
I'm in shock as well. Oh, you have to excuse me because I've been sick all day, haven't I?
So everyone, that is the day our lives turned upside down and our plans, I suppose. I'm really happy to share this precious news and, you know, moments, family moments together, raw, emotional moments with you guys, and I'm very happy to share it with you because you're all our friends, and I'm just so grateful, you know, to have you all here with us, and you've been following along with the family and the plans and the renovation all this time. I can imagine that you guys have probably so many questions so many questions surrounding this whole situation and the news and the future, and so please leave them in the comment section down below, and I love chatting with you guys down there. I'm going to sit and do a Q&A, so I want to answer your questions. I suppose you'll have loads of questions around the future and the renovations, and obviously because our plans have totally changed right now. Or have they? And I know that this is probably going to be a popular question I'm going to get asked, and that's like, you know, what's going to happen with the channel. I'm not going to become this family vlogging channel, that's for sure. I know that anyway, definitely not. I just want to let you know that my content basically is not just all going to become baby all of a sudden. Obviously, we're going to have a few videos to coming back with the news and answering the questions, because you just simply can't fit it into one video. And there will be pregnancy updates scattered throughout my content, and I'll pop it all in a playlist all of its own for the ones who are joining that are interested in the pregnancy and baby and all that stuff. But this channel is very much renovations and other things, and I want to keep it that way. So there's something for everyone, I suppose. It's just adding, I suppose, another layer of content, specific niche content, the pregnancy, to my channel. You don't have to be here for that. I will let you know on the video if it's a pregnancy update. You're going to know from the title, and you can skip that video and just stick with us on the renovation and the home decor. And I'm still going to do all those things because that is who I am as a person, and I love it. I'm hoping that well, I suppose we'll talk about it more in detail in this question and answer video, but I don't know what's going to happen. So we're still working it out, and we'll work it out together. But I just wanted to let you know that, you know, you don't have to unsubscribe and switch off because all of a sudden we've become a baby channel, because that's not what's going to happen over here. And yeah, if you've got any questions though, please leave them down below, and I will answer them in detail in one of the next videos. Are you all shocked? I kept saying all summer, all through the first trimester, obviously it was a massive secret. And I have to mention this because, like, working back towards before I took a break for the summer, you can tell I'm weaning off. We found out already, and I had a month worth of filming, because we found out on the 17th of June. We had a month of filming before I took a break for the August, didn't I? And I've known at this point, and I'm going through it, right? The symptoms, the motions, the sickness. Anyway, I've got it all, and I filmed it all in a first trimester vlog, so I will post that if you are interested in the first trimester vlog. But it's been so difficult not telling you guys and keeping a secret. I've been avoiding filming. Like, that's why I was so grateful to take the August off. It worked out perfectly, and I want to talk about this as well in a future video. I'll keep going on and on and on, don't I? But the divine timing around this whole situation with everything, I just cannot tell you how much divine timing all this is going on. Like, you just can't, I cannot wrap my brain around it, not even now. Like, it blows my mind. Literally 16 years of infertility, and then this now. Like, life is about to begin literally at 40 for me. Make it make sense. What is going on? But it's God's plan, and we've got to trust it. We've got to go with it, and we are going to do, obviously. And this is it. This is our crazy, crazy life. Like, who even has a 20-year flipping age gap between the two children? Me. I do. Anyway, we're sidetracking again, off-roading. So I've got a first trimester vlog coming, and I'm so grateful that I had you guys. Well, I didn't, but I did, because I've been able to talk to the camera, because it's all a big secret, isn't it, in the first 3 months? Like, you can't tell nobody, and you all know. I don't really have it. I've got a best friend, but I don't really have anyone to talk to. Like, I talk to you. Like, you guys are my friends, and I could not tell you, and it's been killing me. But I've been filming behind the scenes and talking to you on camera during the first trimester vlog, and now we're out of the woods, so to speak. We're in the second trimester, obviously we've announced now, and I'm able to post that first trimester vlog, so that is coming, and you'll get more insights as to what's been going on after the day we found out in that first 3 months, which is, that first trimester is no joke, is it? Anyway, I can talk for England, we all know that, and I'm going to leave you guys to your evening. Thank you all so much for joining me in this video, and let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for being here. I am so grateful to have you all here as my best friends, and thanks for going through this with me. And before I start bawling my eyes out again with all these pregnancy hormones, I'm going to say goodbye. So bye.